Hi, I'm Jacob Dixon, and welcome to another lesson in nonsense. And today's lesson, we're going to continue with suffixes. Last week, we learned about the suffix "er," and that told you what a person does for a living. If you teach for a living, you're a teacher. If you wrestle for a living, you're a wrestler. If you're tall for a living, you're a taller. If you're hot for a living, you're a hotter. And if you're cool for a living, you are a cooler. Ooh, yeah. Now, we are going to learn about superlatives, ladies and gentlemen. A superlative, that means you have achieved a standard of excellence. You have surpassed everybody else around you. You can't go any further. Let me give you an example. I am one of 4 children, and I was born first. I'm the oldest in the family. I am the oldest. There you go. I was first born, therefore I'm the oldest. Doesn't mean I'm the best. I was just the first one, right? Now, another one, if you climb a mountain and you reach the peak, you are at the highest part of the mountain. You can't go any higher. If you try to go higher than you are right now, you'll fall and die. So, you have climbed the highest part of the mountain. If you're in a race and you win the race, that means you were faster than everybody else, right? So that means you were the fastest. That's right. Usain Bolt will give you a round of applause. He'll stand up and shake your hand because you were the fastest in the race. On the other hand, if you come in last in the race, that means you were slower than everybody else. That means that you were the slowest. You were the slowest in the race. You lost. You were not the last winner. You were the worst runner, and you should hang your head in shame and never try again. I'm just teasing, ladies and gentlemen, okay? If this were the 70s, that would be true. But now we're in 2021, and we have to be supportive of everybody else around us, right? Right. So, if you lose the race, you're the slowest. If you win the race, you were the fastest. When you climb a mountain and you reach the top, you are at the highest part of the mountain. If you were born first in your family, you are the oldest. And if you were born last in your family, that means you're younger than everybody else. That means you're the youngest member of the family. There you go. Simple, right? Let's do some more. Now, here's one. Can't. Can't is short for continue. When you start something and you have to stop because of something else, some other distractions, you have to start again later. You continue later. If you continue more than everybody else around you, that means you are the contest. You're the contest. That means you've continued more than everybody else around you. Put your hands on your back, and there you go. Give yourself a nice pat on the back. Right? Ever. If you've done something more than ever, and what you've done is more than ever than everybody else has ever, then you are the Everest. Right? And you should be happy because there's a mountain named after you, Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world. And if you climb Mount Everest, then give yourself 2 pats on the back. There you go. You are the Everest. This one. Inter. Inter means something that's happening between 2 things, like intercontinental. You're doing something between the continents. International. Inter this and inter that. If you're doing more things inter than everybody else, then you are the interest. The interest, right? There you go. This is what is written on my notes here. So if you continue more than everybody else, you are the contest. If you do something more than ever than everybody else around you, you are the Everest. And if you are doing more things that are inter, you are the interest. Here's one. For. We all love doing things for other people, right? If you are the nicest in the room and you're doing things for everybody else in the room, then you are the forest. You are the forest. He does everything for everybody. He's the forest. Let's go to him for some help, right? The Everest. Look at him. He's doing things more than ever, more than my ever. I'm not the Everest. He's the Everest. Look at this guy over here. He keeps continuing what he started. I wish I could continue what I started. He is the contest. Ah, there you go. Easy, right? Now, let me go over to my friend here, the face. I'm going to remove his face bit by bit. Say goodbye to his nose, take away his eyes, and take away the mouth, right? And here we have something called irregular superlatives, right? Now, the reason they're irregular is because when you add est at the end, the sound changes. Here, contest, forest, interest, Everest, oldest, slowest, youngest, no sounds change, right? The C is still a hard C. The I is still a short I. You get the idea. Here, things change. Let me give you an example. Let me underline that. And here we have hug, right? You love to hug people. We can't do that now because of the COVID. But before then, if you hugged more than everybody else around you and you received more hugs than everybody else, that means you were the hugest. Now, you see the change here? It goes from a short U to a long U, and goes from a soft G to a hard G. So instead of hug, you are the hugest. That means you received and you have given more hugs than everybody else around you. Here's another one, okay? Let me get my notes here. Ing. Ing goes at the end of the words. It tells you what is happening right now. Right now, I am talking to you. You are listening to me. You are being confused by me. You are thinking, what is he saying right now? Ing, ing, ing. You are doing things. If you are inging more than everybody else around you, then you are the ingest. Okay? Now, the short I sound doesn't change, but the G changes. Goes from a soft G to a hard G. Ingest. You are the ingest. If that means you are inging more than everybody else around you. Here's another one. Let me get my notes here. Yeah, this one. Dig. You want to dig a hole? You have a match against the Undertaker, you have to dig a hole. If your hole is bigger than his, and if you've dug more holes than everybody else around you, and more than everybody else in the entire world, that means you are the digest. Right? Here, it goes from a short I to a long I, and here, it goes from a hard G to a soft G. You are the digest, ladies and gentlemen, if you have dug more holes than everybody else around you. And a quick correction, I think before I said here, the I stays the same, and this went from a soft G to a hard G. No, it goes from a hard G to a soft G. So a little correction there. Ingest, and if you dug more holes than people, then you are the digest, ladies and gentlemen. One last one, and then we'll wrap it up. Inc. Inc, that means you've started up a company. A lot of companies have this at the end of the name, incorporated. That's what it means. Now, if your startup company is more successful than everybody else's startup company, that means you are the incest. That's right, you're the incest, ladies and gentlemen. Your company is more successful than any other company in the neighborhood and probably the world. Bill Gates, Microsoft, His company is the incest. It's the most successful company in the world, right? Jeff Bezos, he's the incest. Amazon is the most successful delivery company in the world. You got it? There you go. Incest. Now here, the I stays the same, the short I sound, but the C goes from a hard C to a soft C. The incest. That means your company is the best in the world. Digest. If you dig, let me underline this. If you dig and you've dug more than everybody else around you, you are the digest. Ing. When you're inging more than everybody else, if you are playing, writing, reading, dancing, talking, if you do that more than everybody else around you, you are the ingest. And hug. When you hug people and they hug you back and you get the most, then that means you are the hugest. Huh? Any questions, comments, leave them below under the comments section there which says comments. Okay? So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, suffixes, superlatives, that means you have achieved a standard of excellence either by accident or on purpose. Est goes at the end. We have highest, fastest, oldest, slowest, youngest. Contest, that means you've continued more than everybody else around you. Everest, you've done things more than ever. Interest, you have entered more than everybody else around you. And forest, you've done things for more than everybody else around you. That. Superlatives, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be the last lesson on suffixes. So, your homework this week is to put only the irregular superlatives that I've written for you into sentences and maybe write a little story. Yeah? Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jacob Dixon, and this concludes another lesson in nonsense. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I got 240 high tops, 460 laces. That's 10 beds I copped out the factory straces. She came real basic, no smear on faces. Caked in crack shells, blue drinks and biscuits. Then dipped in knock boots, but that's none of your business.